Welcome to my first vlog of 2014, and it's the resolutions vlog, and I do feel that we've got quite a lot of things to discuss. But first, as you may know, the Epiphany is upon us tomorrow, which means that the Advent grotto here at Markenfield will vanish tomorrow for another year. So I'm going to have to buy some more candles for my mood centre, I think, because I've got used to all the little the bright lights, and we've still got a couple of months to go with the dark weather. Speaking of weather, it's been dreadful over this past week or so. More of the same in terms of what we had before Christmas. We haven't had the snow, but we've had the storms. We've had, gale force wind almost continuously. And in the south they've had more rain than we've had here, and it's caused colossal flooding. So it's calm today, although it wasn't forecasted to be. So I don't know if this is really just a lull between the storms or not. I think that the weather is having an effect on my birds as well. It's certainly having an effect on the garden. The Markenfield terrace is under the impression that we are into spring now, and there's loads and loads of bulbs that are beginning to sprout. They are a little bit early, and they are next to things like my May blooms, which are, well, there's two that are blooming at almost the opposite point in the year. Some of that has to do with timing and the fact that they were the confused bulbs from last year, so they flowered at the wrong time, so they've got into the wrong cycle. And some of it is because the weather hasn't helped. The weather has fooled them into thinking that almost any point in time is springtime, and so without the harsh weather, and I don't mean the winds and the rain, I mean the cold weather of winter, they are popping up whenever they feel like it. Very strange, very strange. The effect is also happening on my birds, and I think I personally am linking the problem of the French molt that we had with the canaries earlier on with some of this weather, because both doves are in at the moment. What happened was they started losing feathers on their rumps, not on their wings or heads at all, just on their rumps. And I think it was at the point where the heat wave ended and we started to go towards autumn. And then it got sort of milder again, and for some reason their feathers sort of didn't grow back. I think it's probably because they were winter feathers designed to go back as the cold increased, and that didn't happen. They are getting better. They are getting better. One of them's much better, one of them's getting better. I put them on Baytril because, as with the canaries, what's probably happened is they've got a slight infection in it now, and it's just, needs something to clear it. So they're in for a week or so until those feathers have come out. And then we'll release them back into the aviary. We are hoping for a good breeding season this year, although the breeding season doesn't start yet for about a month and a half. I'm hoping that I will not only get sort of second generation products from my main breeders, but my babies from last year are also now of age, pairing off, and I'm hopeful that when I pop in extra nest boxes I may get even more. Which reminds me to tell you that I'm going with whatever bonus money I get this year to the spring bird show in Stafford again in early March, and the idea there is to get some more female quails, which was the plan always, and to finish off my aviary really stock-wise with bringing back some society finches, and that will probably about do. So that will probably be the final wave in terms of big purchases coming in. Along with that, I would like to tell you that we have booked the flights and accommodation for the Romani Eterna tour in March. It's a 5-day tour to Rome, which is going to be good. We are going on the 16th of March, which is just after my 32nd birthday and after my sister's birthday as well. And we're coming back on the 21st. That will be during the vernal holidays, as promised, so that looks good. I can also tell you that we have a surprise coming up this year with our retreat holiday, which I'm not going to say yet, but that will be another very exciting thing that's going on this year. Do you know, the main thing this year in terms of the 5-year plan is that we are now drawing towards our last year and a half of this, and Project Springboard, which is 9 months ahead of schedule, is ready to sort of bounce, I suppose. Project Springboard was this time last year, and the idea was to go through many types of employment, see what I wanted to do in terms of a career, and then to apply once I got personal transport. Now, the savings for the personal transport started last summer and were due to be lasting a year, and they're still on schedule, so that should sort of happen this summer, and then hopefully I will have personal transport, which will affect everything. It will be fantastic. Not only will we be able to go places over our sort of weekly weekends, so to speak, but we'll also be able to get to the allotment a lot quicker, and the walks on a Saturday we can get rid of. It'll be fantastic, but it also means that if I do get another job further away, it will be I'll be able to commute. The main reason for getting a new job, apart from the fact that I want to start a proper career, is because I need more money. And that's not just because everything keeps going up in the world. It's also because of the maintenance of Markenfield itself, in terms of insurances and stuff like that. I need a larger income, whether I want to move from my present job or not. It's nothing, I have to get a larger income, and so that's what this is all about. And so, we're starting on that now, this year. The final thing that is something that I want to think about is sort of being a little bit more wary with my money. I want to create a bigger excess, even with what I've got at the moment, and I know that will all change if and when I get a newer, higher paying job. But until then, I've got to be really on the ball with things. The Rome trip and any other really big expenses this year have been financed through the windfall. The bird show is coming from the bonus, so none of that is coming out of my regular money. And I've got to manage things that way in order to continue to do as much as I'm doing. I'm hoping to make a UFC trip this year, probably with money from my birthday, so it'll probably be after March, but that's still ongoing. That will depend on whether my parents are willing to give me the money rather than do anything else. If so, I would want to make that a regular thing, but of course that depends on how quickly I'm able to get a new job, get a high paying job, and be able to finance it myself. So we're still very much working to a short-term plan in terms of things like that. I still have possibly as long as a year and a half before the 5-year plan comes to an end and we have to go into an assessment. And I'm hoping that this year will prove the big changer, really, in that. And whilst we're at it, let's do the birthdays for this week. I want to wish a very happy birthday to Wilson Rice, Johnny Bedford, Eric Perez, Matthew Brown, and Lee Remedios. So not many this week, but those that are no doubt getting their New Year off to a great start with yet another celebration.